Good morning, dear sir and dear friends. As you know, the birth rate problem is a global problem which affects all the industrialized countries. Firstly, because there is an excessive increase of the population in developing countries. Secondly, because there is an increase and an aging of the population in industrialized countries. And moreover, because there is no any demographic policies in developing countries um, about the population control. There is a discordant increase in the population in relation to the universal resources. This is the global map, and you can see that all the bluish countries have problem with a low fertility rate, and it is estimated that by 2050, more than 150 countries will have fertility rate below the replacement level. What about Greece? Greece has a sustainable problem, and you can see that the population in Greece was reduced the last years by about 3.55%. And you can see that the number of deliveries in Greece is constantly low, and it goes lower every year. Last year we have about 71,000 deliveries, and you can see the gap between the deaths and the births in national level. These are the graphs. It's easily to understand that after 2010, there was an increase in the number of deaths in relation to the births in the country. The problem is not only new, but it existed in the past, and you can see that Polybios Megalopolitis from Megalopolis in Greece reported that 200 years before Christ, the country had the same problem. The people of the country did not want to work hard, did not want to have big families, and they would like to live an easy life. So the births from 1932 are going down in Greece, and the problem is reported as a Greek tragedy in an article published in New York Times in 2013, which reported that the deaths are more than live births in the country. Many people leave the country because of the financial crisis and because of the aging of the population. In a few decades, Greece could not be a viable state. Elon Musk recently on the platform X reported that also there was a population collapse in Greece, and the factors that affect the demographic problem, not only in Greece but globally, is the number of live births, the number of deaths, the maternal age during childbirth, and the fertility rate. What is that fertility rate? The total fertility rate is the most important index of a population increase. Is the average number of children that a woman has to deliver during her lifetime in order to replace herself and her husband. And this index should be above 2.1 in order a country and the country's population to remain stable. You can see in this graph that the problem of the TFR in Greece is always constant, and it was always below 2.1, at least in the last 3 decades. So between 1960 and 2016, the country reached its nadir with a TFR of 1.23. And although there was a relapse, temporarily, there is no society in the world that dropped below this level that managed to overcome this problem. And the reports are more and more frequent in newspapers and on the TV about the demographic problem in the country. You can see the total fertility rate Greece during the last 6 decades, and you can see the projection in the future. Maybe this total fertility rate will be better, but it will be always below 2.1, which is a replacement level. These are the projections for the Greek population from 2022 to 2100, according to the Eurostat. And you can see that in all the scenarios, the population of Greece will go down. And this is the evolution of the population in European Union and in Greece. You can also understand that in European Union there is also a problem, but in Greece the problem is more severe. And of course, all the European countries will have a decrease in their population. However, there are main differences among the European countries. And you can see that countries such as Latvia, Lithuania, Greece, and Portugal have the greatest problem. This is also the population evolution and the distribution of age in Greece between 1960 to 2100. And you can see that the blue line there reflects the population above 85 years, and the elderly people, which is going up, and the percentage of this population is going up. However, the percentage of active population will go down, and you can see that this graph is going down by the years passes. This is a pyramid of age distribution in Greece in 1928. You can see that this is a healthy pyramid with a very broad bottom. The teenagers and the young population are a lot. However, during the last decades, you can see that there is an inverse of this pyramid. There is a shifting of the population, and you can see that the elderly people will be more than the young. This reflects the current situation. You can see that the population in Greece now is the most people are between 30 and 70, whereas the young are too few. And this is a projection of the elderly people in European Union and in Greece, and you can understand that this group of population will be a problem in the future. This is the geographical distribution of population evolution between today and 2100, and you can see that fortunately for the country, the eastern part of the country will have an increase in its population, whereas the rest will have a decrease. However, the gap between deaths and births remain the same in the future. Of course, there is an immigrant equilibrium in Greece, and until the time of the financial crisis, the immigrants who entered the country were more than those people who leave the country. But during that decade, you can see that the graph is reversed. However, the last few years, we have more people that coming and stay in Greece than those that go abroad. And the projection for the future is that we'll have a slight increase of the immigrant population. What about the United Nations? The United Nations reported that the global population decline will affect many countries in the future, the vast majority of the countries. 155 out of 204 countries. And these are the fastest population decline. And you can see that Greece is in the 12th position globally. However, Greeks had never had a high fertility rate. In contrast to the European populations, Greece, after the World War II, had the baby boom, but the population increased mainly due to the immigration and the reverse Greek immigration, because many people living in the Eastern European countries returned to Greece, and because of the increase of life expectancy. However, the median age in Greece is now increased from 26 years, which was in 1951, to 44 years in 2021. Therefore, there is a demographic aging, which reflects the current situation now. There is a working age population decline. The countryside is abandoned. More pensioners flood the cities, and the aging of the population result in an insufficient workforce and fewer people of working age um, are existed for every pensioner. Moreover, there is an abandonment of schools, especially in countryside, because of the diminishment of the population of school-age children. And you can see that it is estimated that in 25 years from now, there will be a drop from of school-age children from 1.6 to 1.4 up to 1 million children. Um, Depending on the optimistic or the pessimistic scenario. Moreover, the maternal age of at childbirth is increasing, and you can easily understand that there is a shift of the graph towards the right. And after 2005, the percentage of women above 30 years giving birth was higher than that of women below 30 years. And Greece also has a disadvantage of being in the top countries in the European Union with the greatest percentage of first pregnancy in women above 40 years of age, with a percentage of 5.3%. Moreover, um, 70 years ago, only 8.3% of the Greek women had no any child, whereas it is reported now that 16.3% of Greek women who were born in 1965 remain childless. Of course, the advanced maternal age has another consequence that we have to deal with increased risk of high-risk population with a lot of complications during pregnancy and labor. And of course, this group of women have no any chance to give birth again, have no the time to become pregnant again and give birth to a second or a third child. What are the causes of this low fertility in the country? Many causes. This is a multifactorial problem. There are industrial, financial, and social problems. First of all, the change of the economy from an agricultural to a developed one, the women participation in the job market and in the education, the women career which is coming first before becoming pregnant, the increased cost of living, the urbanization of the population, the increased workload with many hours spending out of the house every day, and of course the need for kindergartens and the increased cost of children studies. And probably there is a different culture among the population about not becoming pregnant. There is no stigma of any woman that is not married, that is not having children anymore. There are personal preference about family models, and there is a gender equality. But there are consequences, severe consequences for the country, financial consequences with a decline of the workforce, recession of the economy, and a lowering of the GDP every year. Social consequences with the inability of the state to sustain good pensions and social benefits, and of course, increase for national dangers. Worldwide, the policies for fertility improvement are the same, and there is a movement towards improvement of this problem. However, it's not an easy problem to be solved, and the four targets that every country has is the social and financial support of families, the harmonization between family and professional life, maternity support, and the targeted immigration. However, you can see that this is not an easy target, and the countries that have the higher TFR are the more family-friendly countries with the best policy index, whereas the countries with a low TFR, such as Greece, Cyprus, etc., have the lower family-friendly index, which are the countries that have the more unfriendly policy for having a family. And to sum up, the targets, if we want to support families, are public programs for promoting marriage and childbearing, compensation for the extra cost of living, employment support, parenting and gender equality, maternal and paternal leave in order to have the opportunity for childbearing, flexible employment schedules, and all this has to target for an increase of the total fertility rate. Thank you very much for your attention.